What if I told you that everything you've been chasing is making you empty inside? Money, followers, promotions, likes. You work so hard, you achieve your goals, but something still feels missing. Why? Today I'm going to share ideas from a powerful book that changed how I see life. And by the end of this, you might see things differently too. Stay with me. Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about something most people ignore. We're going to explore a book that asks one uncomfortable question. Who are you when nobody's looking? Not what you do, not what you own, but who you actually are, deep inside. This comes from a book about building character, not building a career. And trust me, this is something every English learner and every human being needs to hear. Now let me be clear. This isn't about grammar. This isn't about vocabulary lists. This is about life, real life. And yes, you'll practice English, but you'll also think about yourself in a new way. So take a breath, relax. Let's begin. Repeat after me. I want to become a better person. Say it out loud. Go ahead. I want to become a better person. Good. Keep that in your mind. Here's the problem with modern life. Everyone is obsessed with the outside. How you look, what you post, what job title you have, how much money is in your bank account. We build what I call the outside life, but we forget the inside life, and that's where everything falls apart. The book I'm talking about today makes a brilliant point. There are two kinds of lives you can live. One is about showing off. The other is about growing up. One is about winning. The other is about becoming. Most people focus on the first one. They want to look impressive. They create the perfect resume, perfect Instagram, perfect image. But inside, empty, confused, lost. Pause and think for a second. Which life are you building right now? The outside one or the inside one? Be honest with yourself. Let me explain this more clearly. Imagine two people. Person A has a great job, a nice car, and thousands of followers online. Everyone thinks Person A is successful. But late at night, Person A feels anxious, feels alone, feels like something is wrong. Person B doesn't have fame, doesn't have a fancy life. But Person B feels calm, feels strong, feels clear about what matters. That's the difference between outer success and inner strength. The book says modern society teaches us the wrong game. It teaches us to compete, to perform, to impress. But it doesn't teach us how to become wise, how to become kind, how to become whole. And that's the real tragedy. Say this with me. Success is not enough. One more time. Success is not enough. Remember that. So what is this inside life really about? It's about something called character. Character is who you are when the cameras are off, when nobody is watching, when nobody will praise you, when nobody will even know. Character is your truth, your core, your foundation. And here's what most people don't understand. Character isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, slowly, painfully, through struggle, through failure, through hard moments that break you open and force you to change. You don't build character by reading motivational quotes. You build it by facing yourself honestly. Let me ask you something. Have you ever done something you're ashamed of? Of course you have. We all have. Now here's the real question. Did you pretend it didn't happen? Did you blame someone else? Or did you look at yourself and say, that was wrong. I need to change. That second choice, that's where character begins. Try saying this. I am not perfect, and that's okay. Say it again. I am not perfect, and that's okay. This is powerful, my friend. This is freedom. The book talks about something really important, humility. Now, most people think humility means being weak, being small, thinking you're nothing, but that's completely wrong. Humility means seeing yourself clearly. It means knowing your strengths without bragging and knowing your weaknesses without hiding. Think about someone you really respect, not someone famous, someone you actually know. Why do you respect them? I bet it's not because they talk about how great they are. It's because they're real, they're honest, they admit mistakes, they listen, they grow. That's humility, and that's strength. Here's a truth that might hurt a little. Your ego is lying to you. Your ego says, you're amazing, you're always right, everyone else is the problem. But your character says, wait, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I need to learn. Maybe I hurt someone. Ego feels good in the moment. Character feels uncomfortable. But only character brings real peace. Repeat this important line. I still have work to do. Say it. I still have work to do. That's the mindset of someone building character. Now let's talk about something most people run from. Struggle. Inner struggle. Every single day, there's a fight happening inside you. One part of you wants comfort, wants easy, wants pleasure, wants attention. The other part wants meaning, wants truth, wants to do what's right even when it's hard. Most people let the first part win. They choose what feels good right now. They avoid difficult conversations. They take shortcuts. They ignore their values when it's convenient. And then they wonder why life feels shallow, why success feels empty, why nothing satisfies them. But people with strong character, they choose differently. They choose the harder path, not because they're special, not because it's easy, but because they've learned something important. They've learned that real satisfaction doesn't come from comfort. It comes from growth. Pause right here. Think about one choice you made recently. Did you choose comfort or did you choose growth? No judgment, just notice. The book shares stories of real people from history. These weren't superheroes. They were humans, flawed humans. They failed. They made terrible mistakes. Some were selfish. Some were arrogant. Some hurt people they loved. But something changed them. Usually, it was pain. It was failure. It was a moment when life knocked them down and forced them to look in the mirror. And in that painful moment, they had a choice. Blame the world or change themselves. The people in this book chose the second option. They said, I am the problem, and I can be the solution. That's courage. That's character. One of the biggest lessons from these stories is this. You don't build character when everything is going well. You build it when everything is falling apart, when you lose something important, when you fail publicly, when you disappoint yourself. Those are the moments that shape you. Say this truth. Failure teaches me. Again. Failure teaches me. Believe it. Think about it. When was the last time you really changed? Was it during your best day, or was it during a crisis? Most people grow the most when life gets hard, but only if they're willing to learn, only if they stop blaming and start reflecting. The book talks about discipline. Now, discipline sounds boring, sounds hard, but discipline is just making choices your future self will thank you for. It's choosing the thing that matters over the thing that's easy. It's saying no to distraction so you can say yes to purpose. People with character have discipline, not because they're robots, but because they're honest. They know they can be weak. They know they can make bad choices. So they create rules for themselves. They create habits that protect them. They don't trust their feelings all the time. They trust their values. Try this phrase. I choose what matters, not what's easy. One more time. I choose what matters, not what's easy. That's power. Let me tell you something about modern life. It's designed to make you weak. Social media feeds your ego, but starves your soul. Endless entertainment kills your attention span. Constant notifications destroy your peace. Everything is fast, loud, and shallow. And if you're not careful, you become fast, loud, and shallow too. Building character means going against this current. It means turning off the noise, sitting in silence, asking hard questions. Why did I say that? Why did I react that way? What am I avoiding? What do I really want? These questions are uncomfortable, but they're essential. The book says something profound. People with character feel tension inside. They see the gap between who they are and who they want to be. This gap doesn't discourage them. It motivates them. It humbles them. It keeps them growing. Repeat after me. I see my gap and I will work on it. Say it. I see my gap and I will work on it. That's awareness. Now let's talk about commitment. In today's world, everyone wants freedom. Everyone wants options. Nobody wants to be tied down. But here's the secret. Character grows through commitment. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, a person, a purpose, a community, a craft. When you stay even when it's hard, when you don't quit, when feelings change, that's when you become strong. The people in this book committed. They made promises and kept them. Not because it was easy, not because they always felt like it, but because they said they would. Their word meant something. Their commitments shaped them. Say this commitment. I will keep my promises. Again, I will keep my promises. Mean it. Think about the people you trust most. They're probably people who show up, who follow through, who don't disappear when things get difficult. That's character. That's strength. And you can become that person too. Here's another important idea from the book. Moral direction. This means knowing what you stand for, what you will do and what you won't do, no matter what, even if it costs you, even if it hurts. People with moral direction don't change their values based on circumstances. They have a compass inside. When life gets confusing, they return to their values. They ask simple questions. Is this right? Is this kind? Is this honest? Not, will this benefit me? The second question is about ego. The first question is about character. Practice saying, I know what I stand for. Once more, I know what I stand for. Feel that strength. The book also talks about patience. Character doesn't develop overnight. It's not a quick fix. It's not a weekend workshop. It's a lifetime project. You change slowly. You fail. You try again. You learn. You grow. Little by little. Day by day. Most people want instant transformation. They read one book and expect to become enlightened. They go to one seminar and expect to be fixed. But that's not how humans work. Real change is slow. Real change is repetitive. Real change requires patience with yourself. And here's something beautiful. When you stop rushing, when you accept that growth takes time, you relax. You stop judging yourself so harshly. You stop comparing yourself to others. You just focus on being a little better than yesterday. Say this gently. I am growing slowly, and that's enough. Again, I am growing slowly, and that's enough. Breathe. So what does a life of character actually look like? It's usually not loud. It's not impressive from the outside. It's not full of awards and applause. It's quiet, steady, grounded. People with character don't need constant validation. They don't live for likes. They live for meaning. They treat people with respect even when nobody's watching. They do their work with care even when nobody will notice. They make small good choices every day, not for recognition, but because it's who they are. That's integrity. That's beauty. The book ends with a question we should all ask ourselves. Not, what did I achieve, but who did I become? At the end of your life, your achievements won't matter as much as you think. What will matter is how you treated people, how you handled difficulty, whether you became kinder, wiser, stronger, whether you built a soul worth having. Final practice. Say this: I want to become someone I'm proud of. Last time. I want to become someone I'm proud of. Hold on to that. Look, I know this episode is different. It's not just about English, it's about life. But learning English is part of becoming better. Every time you practice, you're building discipline. Every time you push through difficulty, you're building character. Every time you don't give up, you're becoming stronger. So keep going. Keep learning. Keep growing. Not just in English, in everything. Build your inner life. Build your character. Build something that nobody can take away from you. Build yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring about growth. This road isn't easy, but it's worth it. And you're not alone on it. I believe in you. Now go build something beautiful inside yourself. See you next time.